And we're live from the campus of Vilonia High School. I am Drake Toll. I will not be accompanied by a broadcaster alongside me for this afternoon's festivities for Vilonia's homecoming. This homecoming ceremony is has been well prepared for. Miss Tony Nolan, the new homecoming director after retirement of Pam Fulmer, is very excited. We've been up here all day with the student council, myself, the rest of the student council members, very excited about the homecoming festivities that will take place here beginning at 2:30 was the official start time. We're a little bit past that. The homecoming escorts and maids have been placed inside the tunnel, as you see over there. Once again, we've talked about that on our football broadcast. That tunnel cost well over $12,000 for the Football Foundation to purchase. A very nice addition to this football field and a very nice addition to our homecoming ceremonies. We see our flag twirlers, our baton twirlers out there ready to go for our homecoming ceremony. This celebration, one of the biggest that happens each year at Vilonia. Homecoming game will be tonight at 7 o'clock. For those of you listening, we will have a live broadcast of the football game, Vilonia versus Harrison. Should be a pretty good ball game tonight. The Eagles come into the ball game at 0-5. Harrison comes in 2-0, one of the only undefeated teams in conference play. But nonetheless, the football team and everyone else, the student body here at Vilonia faculty, has something different to tackle before that ball game, and that is homecoming and the homecoming festivities. Today was Formal Friday, the part of the theme for our weekly themes, our daily themes for the homecoming week. Monday was USA America Monday. Tuesday was Western Tuesday. Wednesday was Holiday Day. Dress as your favorite holiday. Yesterday on Thursday, one of my favorites, we did Decade Day. It was a throwback. You get to wear whatever you want from a previous generation. And then today was Formal Day. So students at Vilonia High School, students across the campus districts were able to actually dress formally today on Friday, one of those traditions that the Eagles have had for a very, very long time, coming from Pam Fulmer, who was in charge of homecoming for so many years, and wanted to do Formal Day in honor of her retirement because that's one of her favorite days. Now we have everything set up. We've got Kenna Beatty, Sydney Weaver, and Emily Lassiter are your three candidates for homecoming queen this year. Your maids for the juniors are Isis Yannick and Haley Chandler. Then your sophomore representatives, the maids for the sophomores, are Emma Eastham and Hannah Fisher. As we talked about, very exciting day here at Vilonia High School. It's hot, as it's been most years for the homecoming celebration. Once again, I am Drake Toll. I will not be accompanied by anyone else in the broadcast booth, sadly, today, but nonetheless, I'll do my best to bring you this homecoming broadcast. We're very excited to be here. They will be announcing very soon the homecoming queen, and the baseball team will receive their state championship rings. A very big deal for our baseball team to have had such success this season. You look at a team, we'll talk about them for a second, a team that was swept by Batesville in conference play and then finished out the season as state champions. Some very cool stuff coming from those guys, and this year's squad for the baseball team should be as good, if not even better. A lot of those guys that played last year coming back to join Coach Wallace and the rest of this year's squad to enjoy getting their state championship rings. One of those games that was not a very good one for the opposition, a 9-1 ball game where the Eagles defeated Magnolia to win a state championship. Once again, we are live now on the Vilonia Eagle Football Foundation, the system that we worry about that, but broadcast, watch. Nonetheless, we'll get it for you live in J. We have Mr. as our camera person. His granddaughter, Sue Weaver, is actually one of the school president. 93 degrees. Sophomores and freshmen. Mr. Evan Beavers down. Coach, where are our rings? Excited to get their ring. That's not all the things I can take away from it on a mental aspect, a mental note. The stadium is filling up. Basketball, football players left and right. Football players dressed in all white. The jerseys they'll be wearing tonight for the football game against Harrison. All calls been made. Festivities will begin in 1 minute. So once again, if you know anyone that would like to see the revelation of the homecoming queen, Sydney Weaver, Kenna Beatty, and also Emily Lassiter, your three candidates for homecoming queen. If you know anyone who is anyone wanting to see those festivities revealed, go ahead and have them flip on, post it on Facebook, anywhere you can. Let everyone know it's on the Vilonia Eagle Football Foundation YouTube page, not the Vilonia High School YouTube page. As you can see, cheerleaders lined up in their V formation, getting ready to go. Miss Nolan has given a cue to the field, and it seems as though we'll begin any second now. Chase Lewis is our co-master of ceremonies. He's on the field with a field mic, giving direction to those that are actually on the field and in the stands. Once again, Miss Katie Jones will be reading as our public announcer for this ball game, for these festivities. But it has been announced the festivities will begin at this time. Good afternoon once again. My name is Drake Toll. I'm the Vice President of the Vilonia High School Student Council, welcoming you to the 2017 High School Homecoming Festivities. Before we begin, Student Council and I would really like to wish to say thank you, the student body, the administration, the faculty, and the staff for their great participation during Spirit Week. Now, it'll be my pleasure on this broadcast to broadcast to you the introduction of the 2017 Vilonia High School Homecoming Court. Very excited, as I've said, as we've got some celebration in the stands here. They're announcing who won the door decorations. There was actually a door competition where students were able to decorate certain doors around the campus during their third period classes. The winners of that were Coach Stewart's class, Miss Lowry's class, and Miss Lewis's class. We're now presenting our sophomore representatives. And the first sophomore attendant is Emma Eastham. Emma is being escorted by Cody Mitchell, who represents baseball, as well as Chance Reams, representing soccer. Emma is the 15-year-old daughter of Mark and Nancy Eastham. She's also a member of Friendship Baptist Church and is a Vilonia High School cheerleader. Emma enjoys shopping, spending time with family and friends, as well as reading. Emma is one of our two sophomore attendants. Also, there is Hannah Fisher. She'll be coming out here in just a second. As we said, Emma is a cheerleader. She enjoys participating in that at Vilonia High. She is, as said, escorted by Cody Mitchell and Chance Reams. Mitchell, another one of those guys that will accept their state championship rings here very soon within the next 15 minutes for the state baseball championship last season. Emma Eastham setting up to our near side here on the very far left hash mark of the 30-yard line, and now presenting our second sophomore attendant. That is Hannah Fisher. Hannah is being escorted by Matthew Malott, representing football, one of those linemen that we've called out the name of a lot this season on Friday nights, a big guy that's played very well, as well as Logan Wilson, another football guy who's representing baseball during our festivities. Logan is the tight end on the offense. He's played a lot of really crucial downs for the Eagles this season. Hannah Fisher is the 15-year-old daughter of Troy and Christy Brown. She is a member of the Beta Club track team and attends going to the lake, shopping. As we said, she attends church with Emma. She talked to me yesterday and said she's very excited to be out here with Emma Eastham. Both of those people very, very good friends and very excited to be out here together representing the sophomores as the homecoming attendants. Both of those girls very, very well deserving. And our next attendant, as we crack into our junior attendance, is Haley Chandler. One interesting thing about Haley before we get into who's escorting her, Haley actually has art that's in the White House. She has two different paintings that won national awards and were placed in the White House. So just to think about how the president every single day walks past a painting that she created, very, very cool to have a Vilonia High School member with something so prestigious. Haley is being escorted by Caleb Johnson, representing basketball, and Zach Whitus, representing baseball. Three baseball representatives, as we talked about, receiving their rings today. That's the third one we see in Zach Whitus. Haley Chandler is the 16-year-old daughter of Hans Chandler and the late Shirley Herring Chandler. She's a member of the Vilonia High School Band and Drama Club while participating in art. As we said, a very, very fine artist and one of the better art students at Vilonia High School. Haley is also a member of FCA and TSA. She regularly volunteers for the backpack program, and Haley enjoys going to church, playing musical instruments, riding horses, hiking, biking, and acting. She's very active in the community and a vital member of our band as well as our art program. As we get into our second junior our second junior attendant, it's Isis Yannick. Isis is being escorted by Corvin Booth, who plays football and is representing bowling during our festivities today, as well as Kent Luck, who represents track. Isis Yannick is the 16-year-old daughter of Anya Walters and Norman Wilkerson. Isis enjoys watching anime and movies, as well as listening to music. Isis Yannick is your second junior attendant here at homecoming. Isis will be lining up at the 40-yard line along with her two escorts, as we see Emma Eastham, Haley Chandler, and Hannah Fisher have already lined up to our left and our right. The cheerleaders still standing out there along with the flag majors. We have our huge blow up here that they're walking out of, and it's been a it's been an enjoyable day so far for homecoming. Sorry, a couple more technical difficulties trying to get those worked out. But we'll now present our senior candidates. They are all vying for a spot at homecoming queen. To the sound of many applause, the first senior candidate walks out. That is Kenna Beatty. Kenna is being escorted by Jace Ferrier, who represents tennis. He actually played in the conference tournament in tennis the other day, coming off of that. And Isaiah Rocha as well, starting running back for the football team. He is representing football, escorting Miss Beatty. Kenna Beatty is the 17-year-old daughter of Kenny and Dina Beatty. She's a member of HOSA and attends Oak Bowery Baptist Church, where she's an active member of her youth. Kenna enjoys running cross-country, out with friends, playing basketball and softball, and spending your senior candidate, your first one, Kenna Beatty, lining up at the 45-yard line. As it said there, she loves spending time with Quinn. Quinn Owens, one of the managers at Sonic. I actually attend church with him, a very, very prestigious baseball player when he attended Vilonia. Said he's very excited for Kenna and says that this means the world to her just to be an attendant for the seniors. Our second senior candidate is Emily Lassiter. Emily's being escorted by Ethan Jansky, who represents track, and Brody Johnson, representing cross country. Emily is the 17-year-old daughter of Kimberly and Dan Lassiter. She is a member of FCA VHS Band and serves as the captain of the majorette line. Emily enjoys kayaking, bow shooting, shopping, reading, and watching Netflix. Emily is also an active member of her youth group at Conway Cowboy Church. Emily is set to line up to our right side at the 45-yard line. Interesting fact for you, her boyfriend, Matthew Malott, is actually a homecoming escort to our right at the 35-yard line with Miss Hannah Fisher over there. Wasn't lucky enough to get his own girlfriend, but then again, still an escort. Pretty prestigious here for the boys and girls at Vilonia. Very, very hard to become a maid and very, very hard to become an escort, so something that's looked upon very highly here at our school. Now our final senior candidate is Sydney Weaver. That is, as we've said, Mr. Fred Weaver's granddaughter. I know he's been excited. Talked to him earlier this week. Very, very excited to have Sydney representing the Weaver family as the homecoming nominee. She has been very excited, but he said nonetheless, even if she doesn't get it, she's just the kind of person to say, hey, whoever got it really, really deserved it. Sydney's being escorted by Christian Gardner, representing football, and Denver Henson, representing the swim team. Sydney's the 17-year-old daughter of Allison and Mark Weaver. She is a member of the track, cross country, and Spanish club at Vilonia High School. Sydney enjoys spending Wednesdays at Miss Jana's, shopping with Mimi, hanging out in coffee shops with friends, spending time with her mom, and attending Friday night football games. Sydney, once again, a very vital part of the high school, spends a lot of time doing different activities and very involved in the student section and everything else that goes on around here at Vilonia High School. Now we're presenting our 2017 Flower Girl and Crown Bearer. Our Flower Girl is Hadley Hart. Hadley is the daughter of Josh and Alyssa Hart. Our Crown Bearer is Brooks Pennington. Mr. Brooks is the son of Andy and Emily Pennington. Andy Pennington, of course, is the principal at the at the Frank Mitchell Intermediate School. Both our crown and ring bearers are being escorted by Mr. Matt Sewell, the principal of Vilonia High School. Big thank you to him for allowing us to have these massive homecoming festivities. And now we will have the announcement of the Vilonia High School homecoming queen. And your queen is Sydney Weaver. She has been announced as the homecoming queen to the elation of Mr. Fred Weaver, her grandfather, And a lot of excitement here as the crowd gives her a round of applause. And she'll now be crowned by Principal Mr. Matt Sewell. Once again, Miss Sydney Weaver has been crowned Homecoming Queen. Big round of applause coming from Miss Sydney. She knows she's very excited as her maids join her. Photo opportunity there at the 50-yard line. As the crowd gives a resounding round of applause for the homecoming queen and her court. Very cool to see Miss Sydney win. I know she's very excited about that as the escorts will escort their maids back to our chairs to our right, where they will be seated for the rest of our homecoming pep rally. As we said, our maids this year, our sophomore maid, Miss Emma Eastham, junior maid, Miss Haley Chandler, senior maid, Miss Kenna Beatty, senior queen, Sydney Weaver, senior maid, Emily Lassiter, junior maid, Isis Yannick, and sophomore maid, Hannah Fisher. Those are your maids once again for your 2017 homecoming. Folks, don't go anywhere. Homecoming festivities are nowhere near over, as the Vilonia High School baseball team will receive their rings. The court and the maids taking their places on their thrones. We can call those thrones. They look a little more like lawn chairs. We'll call them thrones for now. They'll take their places over there to our far right near the 15-yard line. Big thank you, shout out to the band for coming out and playing for us today. They have been out here in the hot sun with all their equipment, as well as all of the classes, juniors, sophomores, and seniors. Big thank you to Miss Katie Jones as she takes her spot down on the field for a great job as our Master of Ceremonies. She's been on the PA for us as the Student Council President. As we said, Miss Sydney Weaver has been crowned your homecoming queen for the school year at Vilonia High School. She'll take a seat there in the middle next to our flower girl, Hadley Hart, our flower girl Hadley Hart. Chase Lewis now taking the field for the rest of our homecoming ceremonies. Fight song being played. Once again, I am Drake Toll, live with you here on the campus of Vilonia High School at Philip D. Weaver Stadium for the homecoming festivities. I am not joined by any color commentator today. Our usual Corey Erie and Alan Wade are at work, sadly, but a shout out to both of those guys. You can see the flag line, the baton twirler. The 2007 the senior graduated last season, coming up and accepting his ring first. Now we'll have number 10, senior Nate Norman, a pivotal part of the pitching staff for the Eagles last season. He'll give us a hug. Sad to see those guys grab. Nick Howard, one of the players. Next season last year, and there. Now senior number 8, fielder we lost from last season. Once again, his bat and his glove very pivotal, very pivotal for the Eagles. Senior number 17, Chris Bass, the Iron Man, did just about everything for the Eagles from pitching to hitting to outfield last year. A great baseball player, and it really stinks to have to lose him. We'll crack into the juniors. We're sad to see our seniors go, but we'll start with junior Colton Bolin accepting his ring. Now on to junior number 19, Corey Wilson, the closer in the state championship baseball game. Did an outstanding job closing out the season. His pitching's come a long way. I played baseball with that boy in Pee Wee, but an outstanding state championship for him closing out the ball game. Now Logan Wilson accepting his rings. They are giving Coach Wallace a hug, and we'll have now junior Denver Henson. He gets an outstanding applause from the band and the rest of the crowd. They're very happy to see Denver accepting his ring. Next up, Hunter Kelly out to accept his ring. I'm not really sure what he's doing there, making a fashion statement, but he'll accept his ring there from Coach Wallace. Now Trey McNesby, a starter against Harrison in the conference tournament. He did a great job starting this season pitching, especially in the postseason. Now junior Michael Morris accepting his ring. Look to see him in the outfield this year. Should have a lot of playing time. Now junior number 5, the state championship player of the game, Cody Mitchell. He started pitching in that ball game, threw very, very well before we saw Corey Wilson come in. Outstanding job by that man. Now Jordan Corzin accepting his ring. Another very successful season for him last year, especially with a big bat playing first base. Now Ben Duff will be accepting his ring from Coach Wallace. Next up is junior number 4, Tristan Milligan. Saw a lot of time at third base last year. Had a very hot bat, a very clutch bat. Now junior number 9, Bryce Woldridge. He caught for the Eagles last season, his first year of baseball as a junior. Junior number 18, Zach Whitus. He had the 3-run home run to seal a win, the walk-off 3-run home run to seal a win against Whitehall in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. Now Devin James accepting his ring. Was a sophomore last year, saw a lot of time at the plate and catching. Now number 2, Josh Albert, another one of the sophomores, accepting his ring. He played a lot at third base as well and had a very, very hot bat. Now Jaden Lazuski traveled with the team last season. He's your next sophomore accepting his ring. A great, great catcher. Now Luke Berry, we look to see him in the middle infield this season, a guy that will contribute a lot. Had a great year last year. We'll now see sophomore number 3, Sagan Lewis, another guy that will contribute a lot this year. 2 guys ripened with baseball and ready to play this season. Now number 16, Caden Rayburn accepting his ring, one of the bigger bats in the team. Had a great postseason coming in and pinch hitting here and there. Had quite a few hits. And now our final junior, Mr. Reed Sadler. Some of the most clutch catches I've ever seen during the state playoffs. That young man did an outstanding job. Now we see Tyler Moran accepting his ring as we start the sophomores. Next up there is Kyle Vines accepting his ring. A lot of these guys actually did not play up with varsity, so there will be no numbers for the freshmen. Next, Corbin Watson, another guy that's caught a little bit, accepting his ring. Now Drake Shaw accepting his ring from Coach Wallace there near the 50-yard line. Zane Gunner. Drew Killo accepting his ring. Cade McWilliams accepting his ring. Jake Goff, another one of those freshmen from last year, accepting his ring. A lot of freshmen on that team. Bradley Phillips, one of the junior varsity catchers last year, accepting his ring. Hunter Neese, no longer at Vilonia, unable to accept his ring, but a pivotal part of the junior varsity last year. First state championship while here, Coach Bryant, Coach Moore, and Coach Kenny Waits walking through, shaking hands, and Cameron Mitchell walking through, shaking hands. Him and Blaine Hale were 2 pivotal parts of the Eagles season as managers of the baseball team. There's Wilson McKnight down there, the accepting his ring. He is the athletic trainer at Vilonia High School. Wilson McKnight, one of the fan favorites here at Vilonia. If we can pan across there, the baseball team, an outstanding looking group, and we look to be just as good, if not better, this season, on track to winning 2 in a row. Cheerleaders are taking the field. We'll stay on here for a few more minutes as we'll catch the rest of our homecoming festivities. As we said earlier in the broadcast, Sydney Weaver has been announced as your homecoming queen. She is one of our senior attendants. But a lot of excitement around these homecoming festivities. The ball game tonight will begin at 7 p.m. Corey Erie, Alan Wade, and I will be on at 6:30 p.m. bringing you the pregame show live from Philip D. Weaver Stadium. Goblins taking on the Eagles. Last time they played, the Eagles fell at Harrison. But the year before, another one of those games played at Harrison, the Eagles were actually able to win that ball game 31-10. So Vilonia knows how to beat Harrison, and this year they've schemed very well against the air raid attack that Harrison's able to bring. As you see the cheerleaders performing near the 50-yard line. But should be a good ball game tonight. As we said, we'll begin that broadcast at 6:30. We'll conclude that one around 9:30. And then tomorrow, the big homecoming dance beginning at 7 p.m. at the Conway Cowboy Church. A round of applause there for the cheerleaders. Coached by Lisa Evans, her first year with the high school, and a very impressive dance there for them at the 50. Resounding applause from our crowd. And now my favorite part of the pep rally, the old pie in the face. There has been a fundraiser throughout this entire week. The class that could bring the most money will get to pie Mr. Sewell, our principal, in the face. What class won? Miss Ragland's class was the winner. Justin Lee from Miss Ragland's class has been selected to throw the pie in Mr. Sewell's face, and here comes the bearded eagle, Mr. Matt Sewell. Mr. Sewell setting up. The crowd going wild around here at the stadium. They are very excited to see this. Mr. Justin Lee ready. They cover them both up with some tarps. Make sure they don't get too messy. Here he comes. Hope to see maybe a crow hop here. Maybe he'll rear back and give it to him. Here it comes. Mr. Justin Lee giving Matt Sewell a pie into the face. There it is. Very excited to see a principal that's so steeped in school spirit and trying to do fun things. Mr. Sewell has been a great asset to Vilonia High School the past couple years. And oh my goodness, he gets them back. Oh, we got that on camera. That's awesome. But once again, Mr. Sewell, a very awesome asset to Vilonia High School. He's been here for a couple of years now and done a great job at getting students involved. And it's been a beautiful day here at Philip D. Weaver Stadium. A little warm, but nonetheless, we've enjoyed bringing you this homecoming broadcast. The homecoming festivities, once again, will be located on YouTube. You can go back and rewatch any of the festivities at any point in time on the YouTube at the Vilonia Eagle Football Foundation. We're going to try and hook up the Vilonia High School YouTube page here pretty soon. Had some technical difficulties with that one. But nonetheless, you can go watch this broadcast at any point in time on the Vilonia Eagle Football Foundation's YouTube page. Click down there, subscribe to the YouTube page, watch any football game. There will be other festivities that will broadcast throughout the year, including basketball. But very excited to be here with you guys today for the homecoming festivities. I am Drake Toll. We're going to go ahead and sign it off here as we get into more of the pep rally. And it's been a fun day at Philip D. Weaver. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to go ahead and close it out here. Once again, Sydney Weaver, your homecoming queen for the 2017 year.